Well, musically, the way that we kind of create and I suppose put out music is the way that it's all-encompassing, kind of stylistically in regards to genres and stuff. It's not really, we don't really question ourselves, so we have this kind of unchallenged, I don't know, creative process. That means that we don't, all the music we kind of create, there's a coherency because it comes from us and we've been doing it for a long time, but it flirts between a lot of things. There's a big stylistic polarity is what I always say. I think that's a generational thing. I think that's a representation of the way that my generation consumes media, and from the outlets or from anything, like it's, and I don't know, I think that especially people who grew up with those movies, they have an even more idealistic view of their teenage life. I think it was interesting for me because before you're a teenager, you're kind of projecting forward and romanticizing of what it would be like. When you are a teenager, obviously, everything's like the apocalypse. And then when you leave being a teenager, you romanticize and antiquate all of your memories. And it's this kind of I don't know, this kind of perpetual state of like romanticizing your youth. And I think that idea, I've always really carried that. Because nobody has like a clinical view of their youth. You know, it's all like a faded Polaroid or something like that. It's all very romanticized, you fill in the gaps. Yeah. I think that's something that kids who grew up with cinema and romance depicted in cinema, that's something that they have. Well, I think it's been detrimental to the way kids communicate with each other as well, especially on the internet. I think the internet's quite a dangerous place. It's all about projecting your identity and it's all false. And it provides this kind of this faux social dialogue that tricks kids into believing that they're connecting with each other. And children, you know, like 14-year-old kids, they have unmonitored kind of like lives led out on the internet. And if you look at like Tumblr and stuff, everything's so like romanticized and ideas are so glamorized and the ideas of drugs and sex and stuff. Listen, I'm guilty of that. I'm from man of the 1975, but I'm a grown-up, I understand it. When we grew up, the internet was something that wasn't so essential to your growing up. Now, majority of kids like live on the internet, and it's a weird place to live. I don't really have that much advice for kids. I just say the only thing that I've learned is that what I see from a lot of young kids is that they see that a lot of their, like, the sole measure of their worth is when they're, like, their presence is validated by, like, a celebrity. I don't know, I don't want to go on about the whole, you know, celebrity, beware of celebrity culture, but, like, human interaction and conversation and stuff are not things to be kind of lost amongst kids. I see a lot of the internet, I see a lot of young kids who kind of spout this kind of adoration and they're confused by what they believe in. But I don't know, don't listen to rock bands, talk to your parents.